Hello everyone, George here, and we're back in my implementation of Five Nights at Freddy's. We're deep into the modeling phase of this entire project, where we're working inside of Maya LT 2017 to produce our model that will eventually export out to Unity. However, at the moment, we're not ready for that. You can see that we've gotten a lot of the basic rooms done and some of the props. But there's one area that's really important that we just have not finished, and of course, that's this area right here. Whoops, that sign shouldn't be there. Something in the transform got messed up. So you, sir, need to go, at least temporarily, over there. Great. But importantly, we have our room, which needs to look much more like this instead of like that. So what we're going to do now is grab all these assets, export them out, and begin manipulating them separately. So we'll do a quick bad grab first and make sure we don't have anything else selected, and that's pretty much it. Let's go to, let's save it. Let's do Control G, group them together, and just call this security room. Room underscore G, something like that. Go to File and Export Selection. Now we're going to export this out as a Maya LT file, and we'll call this security room. So we already had one we were working on, and we brought it in. I'm going to start this now with security room underscore 0. I'm going to put a 4 in it and then do re-export. Just so I know that something maybe happened between the export and the last one. There's a break in everything. Okay, frame on up. Now, looking at our security room over here, there's a lot of different things that we don't have done. There are things like cobwebs, the mirror. It looks like there's some other cobwebs or cables streaming down from the roof, which we have to do. There's, of course, all the texturing, and then the little items like the sign and more. So I want to move the reference material onto one of my other monitors so that I can continually see it. So just so you know, that is up for me. And let's begin just creating stuff. You know what I'm in the mood for right now? Why don't we create some of these different textures for the sign? So how many do we actually have? So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So 6 is not 4, but let's go into Photoshop. So start Photoshop. Let's go to New and create a power of 2 image. So let's do 2048 by 2048 with the intent of probably scaling that down for such a minor asset. Let's go to Edit, Preferences, and let's go to Grids, Guides, and Slices. And under here, I want 3 divisions instead of 4. Doing that now, I have 3 divisions going that way, and let's put a center line down the middle. So File, let's see. How do I do, can I do that in Photoshop? Make it different along each axis? Looks like I can't. So what is 3? 3 is 6 instead. What if I do 6? Will I get that center line? Yes. Okay, so now we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 different areas for our images to be in. Let's go ahead and save this out now that we've got things set up. So under Google Drive, nope. Let's go under this PC, speed, YouTube, reproduce it, FNAF, and Photoshop. And this is going to now be a new folder called Security Room. Under Security Room, let's call this Children's Art. And we don't want this to be a PNG, we want this to be a Photoshop file, a PSD. Save, great. Let's go to View, and I'm going to bring my rulers in. And I'm going to put some grids up. Not that I really need them, but why not? I like using them from time to time. They help me just see the separation between the different objects so I know I'm not screwing things up. And let's begin thinking. So they are all, if we take a look, what is the key to move this stuff? Here we go. So if we take a quick look over here, we can see that they're all on white paper, no lines or anything. Although I might want to change that. And they're pretty, actually the fonts on all of them are the same. So the tops are the same regardless of the image. So this is something that you give a kid and it says My Fun Day. So My Fun Day is a big, big, big font. So let's create that first. So My Fun Day. It's also warped slightly, so we'll deal with the warping later on. So My Fun Day is big, so we need a nice big font for this. So Control A. If you hear a purring, that's my cat. by the way. So let's see. We want big fat fonts. That's closer to it, but it's a little jagged. I wonder if we can bring it in and smooth it out. So let's just see really quick first. So that's what we're looking at. Gill Sans Ultra Bold. Is there something similar that's more rounded? No, not in my font set. So let's go with this one instead. No, the one in FNAF is all caps. So let's go with something different after all. Where was it Gills? Let's go with that. And it is all caps. So fun and day is on the next line. So let's do that and a Y and a big M or Y. Make sure that that's centered as well. And we now need to somehow reduce this thing down a bit. So why don't we, I'm going to duplicate this layer. I'm going to rasterize this one if I can. So make a new layer, grab this one. Let's go to rasterize layer and then merge layers. And if I grab it and then we go, let's zoom in. Let's go to selection, modify, smooth it. I want to smooth this by, I don't know, like 50 pixels. Way too much. Okay. Select, modify, smooth, maybe by 20 pixels. Still too much, so let's go select, modify, smooth, and 10 pixels. And now that we've done that, you know what, even that's a bit much. The day needs to be more separated, but almost like it's a separate thing. So select, modify. Let's do a contract first of 5 pixels. And now let's do a select, modify, smooth of 8 pixels. And now we have something much closer to what FNAF is like if we take a look at the reference material in terms of it being bubbly and smooth. Coming back to Photoshop, I'm going to put a layer on top of that. And if we get rid of the initial one, we can see it's a little bit more bubbly. If we go ahead, double click our layer and begin applying, there's definitely 2 borders on it from the reference material. There's a red border, which we'll make it a little bit darker though, something like that, maybe desaturated. And then there is another black stroke after that. So it looks like my strokes are flip-flop. So this is outside, this is inside. Let's do outside as well. But let's make this one a little bit bigger and make that one blackish. There we go. Good. Okay, so that's the basic thing we're going to have in each one of these. It's close enough as far as I'm concerned. We can get rid of this, and we're going to need to actually, oh, no, NVIDIA or GeForce, go away. We want this to be bent, so let's zoom in and apply a transformation to it. So Control T, we'll move it to the center, I guess. Right click, and let's do a warp. And I'm just going to grab the center of this in both areas and just kind of warp it up like that. It's not a huge change, just a slight one is what I want here. So just enough to make it bow up. Good enough. Apply, please. Thank you. I'm going to take that and put it in each of these. So my fun day is a little bit smaller than that, so something like that possibly. It's pretty close, so there we go. Apply. And then we'll be doing this for each of these. So let's take that layer, Alt and Shift, and move it over. Alt and Shift and move it over. Let's grab all 3 of these and move them down. Or I didn't grab all 3, but close enough, I guess. So it wants to not link where I want it to, but whatever. So it needs to be somewhere like there. I don't really care if they're perfect here. They don't need to be. Because if you ever had someone scan something 1,000 times, they never are. I'm going to grab all these layers now and put them under their own folder. Make sure that that's all of them. Call these My Fun Day. Open that up. And now we have, what? That one, that one. So what do we have? We have, in the reference material, we have a pink, green, yellow, purple, and probably blue somewhere up there. So pink, green, yellow, purple, and blue at least. So pink, we already have green, right? So that's that one. Let's do purple next. So we'll double click on this layer, go to color overlay. Now we have blue. Next up, double click on this one as well. I just happen to have blue, by the way. And let's go to color overlay and go to a purplish color, a little bit more desaturated maybe and lighter. It does look like some of the colors changed. Like the red on this layer shouldn't be red, it should be white from the reference material. So we'll go with that instead. But the rest of them look like it's black and red. Okay, so scrolling down, the next one is right there. Double click the layer, go to our color overlay, and we need yellow on this one. So go to yellow, a little bit brighter yellow. Okay, maybe not quite that yellow. There we go, that's better. All right, and so that's 2 of them, or that's 4 colors. So we got this one now. Once again, we'll go with, we did most of these, didn't we? So now I get to pick. So we'll do, I guess, a red-ish color, or like a real pink. We'll do, wait, which layer are you? Oh, I screwed that up, didn't I? So let's go to color overlay and do a pink, not a purple. Actually, maybe we should do a darker purple. Or maybe a dark blue. We'll do that. And then the last one, let's go to color overlay. And brown is not a fun color in this case. And we'll go with a red. And let's change the inner stroke to be white-ish. That makes it pop a little bit. Okay, so we got those done. Next up, we need to put the graphics in. So we need to draw some nonsense on each of these and make them work. Let's save this really quick, maximize compatibility, of course, and draw some shapes. So these are all stuck in here. So let's minimize that and create a new folder. And in here, let's just zoom in. Now, normally, you know what I'm going to do? We're going to take a quick break and I'm going to come back. I'm going to draw these images on paper and pen, and then I'm going to scan them in and bring them in here to work with. I think that's just going to be a lot easier than trying to do this inside of Photoshop. Okay, I'll see you in just a minute. Bye. Alright, so I couldn't find any paper and all my kids' crayons and stuff are thrown all over the place, so I decided to do everything within Photoshop, which gives it this very unique perspective, as you saw as I created it sped up. So we've got 3 different pictures that we're going to work with. I'm going to take each of these and bring them into my actual scene. So first off is this one with the present, Control-A, Control-Shift-C, grab it, come over here, paste this thing somewhere in here, and the image is way too big. We're just going to make it work to the right size. Things might get stretched a little bit, but it really doesn't matter. I'm going to take this entire group and move it under the other group right there. Now my fun day gets shown on the top, and let's go ahead and turn that one off. Control-A, Control-Shift-C, and Control-V. Grab the whole thing, and we're just going to keep shoving these into their appropriate places. Once again, don't take a lot of time if you're following along, and I know, by the way, if anyone is actually following along after 100 plus videos, you know, give yourself a damn pat on the back and let me know in the comments below. I'd really love to know if anyone had the balls to continue with this. Now, balls or balls are the wrong word, whatever your gender happens to be. But the idea is, if you've gone along with this as long as I have, you really deserve some just some recognition. So please, even if it's just a part of it, let me know what you have actually done so far, because this series isn't just about me completing this game. I'm hoping to show you a lot of tips and techniques and different things to make it so that you can do this kind of stuff yourself. So let's go ahead and close that, and that it's possible for you to do it yourself. You know, you don't have to be an amazing guru at anything to make games. You just got to have some persistence. Actually, the number one thing is patience, really, because there's a lot of stuff you got to learn, especially when you say to yourself, how am I going to do something? How am I going to make this happen? And you just got to keep going with it. All right, what do we have? One left. This one, Control-A, Control-Shift-C, and Control-V. Put this over here. Put that up there. And apply. All right, so the question is, what does this look like if I put it on the top? So it overrides everything, but what if we do this and we do a multiply? No? All right, let's try some things here. I want to get that underlying layer to come through. So what would be required to make that happen? Uh-oh, we got a problem. Let's go to normal. I put the other group inside the other group. All right, so this needs to go above my fun day. Now I can go through this and start playing around. And really, the idea is I'm just trying to see if there's a layer type that will allow that to pass through as if the child drew over top of it. And this seems to be the closest one, which is multiply, which makes sense because multiply multiplies 1 times whatever the value is and 0 times whatever the value is. So that's going to work for us in this particular case. And I am going to go to this group and maybe just slightly reduce it. It is a little bit pronounced. Okay, so we've got our art. So let's go to File, Save As. Let's actually save this first. Control S, and I'm going to come over here and save the artwork as well in case I want to come back. Children's art, Jewel Pages, something like that, just so I can find it again in the future. Now we can go to PNGs and we can save this out as a texture within our textures folder, and we will do a security room. So let's go to new folder, security room, and children's art, save, okay. 256 by 256, that should work just fine. Now we can grab all these pages up here, 6 of them in total, right click, new material, and go to Fong. Let's go all the way to the end, Fong, and do children's art _M. I'm going to grab that, Control C it, go to color. Now that I'm there, I'm going to choose a file type. Within the file type, I'm going to change that over to F, and I'm going to change the texture to a T. There we go. Go here and find what I want, which is under textures, security room, children's art. And now we just need to check out the UVs and make them work properly. So instead of them filling the entire place, I only want each of these to fill what it's supposed to. We might as well go ahead and follow FNAF convention. So FNAF security room, looking up that reference material again because I happen to close it. And there we go. That's a good image. So it looks like we've got... So I tried to follow the imagery somewhat. So let's go to this one first, and let's go to Window, General Modeling, UV Editor. Zoom out, right click, go to UVs, grab the UVs. I'm going to D and V this into the lower corner so I can scale this down. D and V, lower corner please. I hate that. There we go. So at least that's somewhat close. And then we're going to scale it up in the vertical, and this one should be the balloon one. So let's find that. So D and V down to the bottom, and V balloons somewhere around here. Let's go to X mode instead, which snaps to right there. And it looks like we're missing part of this, so I'm just going to tweak it until it works. So it's going to be something like that. Good. Okay, let's go to the next one. This one over here. Grab the UVs on this guy, and this is going to be the box one. So let's D and X this to the corner, scale it on down, somewhere like there, scale it on up, someplace like that maybe, and then W, and then D and X that to the corner, and then V, snap that over to there, and maybe just thicken it a little bit. We could, if we wanted to, go to the grid and edit it, but I want a little bit of space between each of these images, which I didn't allow myself before, so I'm just going to freehand it. Next one up are the faces, the creepy faces. So let's go to that one, UVs, grab them, scale them on down, move them over. Let's see, D and X so you can see what I'm doing. And then I'm going to move that over here. And now I'm going to manipulate the scale tool, whoops, D and X on that corner and make them fit. So that's going to go like there, and that's going to go somewhere up there. And then we're also going to want to move the whole thing over just a little bit. And then we get that. And really this could be probably pushed out just a little bit more. Okay. Next up is this top one, and that is the face, which you can't really see in the reference material. We're going to just scale it down until it fits the face region. I'm going to move it down until it's in there. Once again, you can be far more exact if you want to be, but I don't really have a reason to be in this case. Let's go to here, and this is the, what one is that? That's the cake. Okay, so UVs and grab the cake one. Where's the cake? It's right there. Scale it on down until it fits somewhere like that. A little bit more. Scale it up and move it into place and over a little bit. And there we are. And the last one is this one. Back into UV mode, grab them all. I always go back to UV mode just to make sure I'm not screwing something up. This one is the scary teddy bear, which is right here. I'm going to X that. It's going to be close to the center, most likely, even though it's at, no, it's not. It's nowhere near the center because we're in thirds and this is in 25ths, I think. Quarters or 20ths, one of the two. Either way, it's not in the scale we're dealing with. So let's just scale that up, move it close. It's really up to you. You can go into the grid settings and mess with them. I'm just going to freehand it. I don't have a lot of reason to worry. Okay, there we go. And there we are. We have our fun time images that are going to be shown. Obviously right now the lighting in this place isn't set up properly, so it looks quite different from our reference material. But ultimately we've got what we were going for, which are these images over here. And once we add a proper light source, we'll get shadows and things are going to look a lot better. Also, because we decided to take the polys to bend these, they're going to look a lot better as well from the side. So don't worry, it's going to get better. Anyway, that's enough for this episode. Thank you all for watching. I will see you next time. Remember to like if you liked, dislike if you don't, and subscribe if you want more material like this. So long, everyone. Have a good night. Goodbye.